the valley opens beneath a pale morning sky, wide and green and impossibly calm, as if nothing terrible has ever happened here, and nothing ever could. Nestled within that valley lies the town of Allen, small and quiet, surrounded by rolling mountains that stretch outward in every direction, fading into a hazy horizon that feels both protective and isolating. At the edge of town, standing near the river as it rushes past, with steady, unbothered purpose, is old Ethan, his hair now gray, his face lined by years that have carried more weight than most. His eyes are calm, but not soft. They have seen too much for that. Not far from him is Ethan Jr., a strong, capable man in the middle of his life, moving with the confidence of someone who has never known the old world the way his father did, but understands its absence all the same. In the distance, children move through the fields, Mary, Joseph, Daniel, and Matthew, laughing, chasing one another through tall grass that bends gently in the wind, and watching over all of it, in ways both seen and unseen, is the memory of young Lucy, whose presence still lingers in the spaces between what was and what remains. The town is alive, but it was not always this way. There was a time when the world simply stopped, not slowly, not gradually, but all at once. They would come to call it the bad time. Old Ethan stands before a small group of children inside a modest church, his voice steady, measured, the way a man speaks when he has told a story too many times and still hasn't found a way to make it easier. He does not begin with fear. He begins with facts. Everything stopped working. Lights, engines, planes, cities. He tells them about that night, about the darkness, about the silence, about how, for a brief moment, everyone believed it would come back. It didn't. In the days that followed, confusion turned into fear, and fear turned into something else. The cities were the first to fall, cut off from power, from supply, from structure. They consumed what they had, and then turned on each other when there was nothing left. Food vanished, water became uncertain, and the people, millions of them, had nowhere to go. Suburbs lasted a little longer, long enough to be emptied, long enough to be looted, long enough to be stripped of anything that could be carried. And then they fell too. Those who fled into the countryside believed they might find safety there. Some did, most didn't. Small towns like Allen closed themselves off, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity. There were watchtowers, barricades, men and women with rifles who had made a decision that would stay with them for the rest of their lives. Some people were allowed in, family, friends, those who could offer something in return. Most were turned away. Old Ethan pauses, not because he has forgotten what comes next, but because he remembers it too clearly. There were acts of kindness, he says finally, more than you might think. Food shared, shelter given, strangers taken in. But for every one of those stories, there were others. Stories that no one tells anymore. Stories that no one wants to remember. Outside, the town of Allen moves through its day with quiet purpose. The farmer's market stands at the center of everything. A wide, trampled field filled with stalls and voices, and the steady exchange of goods that keeps the town alive. In the warmer months, it overflows with life. Maple syrup, preserved fruits, poultry, dairy, fish pulled fresh from the river. In winter, it becomes something else entirely. A park, a place of gathering, a place where people remind themselves that survival is not the same thing as living. The churches stand nearby, one Catholic, one Protestant, both full, not because everyone believes the same things, but because everyone believes in something. The library sits just off the square, its shelves mostly empty, its caretakers slowly, patiently rebuilding a collection from whatever fragments of the old world can still be found. Books that survived, books that were carried, books that were saved. Some of them are not quite right. Old Ethan stands now in that library, turning the pages of a worn book with careful hands. He pauses on a passage, frowns, not because he doesn't understand it, but because he does. Jesus,
Liar.
he mutters quietly. I remember this stuff. Across the room, Zion flips through another book, his brow tightening. What are you looking at? Someone asks. History. Our history? Zion shakes his head slowly. Not mine. He closes the book. I don't know whose history this is. Outside, life continues. Holly moves through the edge of town with a small crate in her hands, inside of which a litter of young cats shifts and mews. Softly, she handles them with care, with familiarity. They are valuable now, for farms, for homes, for children who have never known dogs. Her brothers work nearby, Mason and Joshua among them, strong, capable, already stepping into roles that will define their lives. The younger children follow where they can, learning simply by being present, and always, quietly, constantly. There are the sentries, men like Caleb and Zion, watching the roads, watching the tree lines, watching for anything that does not belong. Because even now, after all this time, there are still things out there, things that did not end when the world did. That night, old Ethan sits alone by the river. The sound of the water is steady, unchanging. Ethan Jr. approaches, stopping a few steps away. For a while, neither of them speaks. You told them everything? Ethan Jr. finally asks. Old Ethan shakes his head. No. Another pause. You ever going to? Old Ethan looks out across the dark water, his expression unreadable. I don't know. The river moves on, as it always has, as it always will. Behind them, the town of Allen settles into sleep, safe for now, and far beyond the mountains. Beyond the roads no one travels anymore. Beyond the places where maps no longer matter. The world is still out there, waiting